I hear you can do some pull-ups and push-ups. I'm excited to meet you at the gym in just a little bit.
We'll see you over there.
We're waiting at a gym. He's gonna pull up. We're gonna get a lift in together. But like, you get to see behind the scenes of the security apparatus. Like everywhere they go, they have to be on their pivot. There's multiple SUVs pulling up, guys in suits, earpieces, and sure enough, he showed up in his jeans. I got a very critical question I gotta confront you on. Some people say the rumors that you skip leg days.
I did leg day yesterday.
You did leg day yesterday?
Yeah, I lift a lot of weight on leg day.
Okay, and what do you got? What do you got today?
I happen to do pulls. Was that a party?
I think so. The America we knew in the 1960s is very different than America today as far as fitness, chronic illness, and that's one of your primary things that you want to change about America. Tell me about it.
The chronic disease epidemic is probably the biggest of all the kind of existential crises that we're facing. When my uncle is president, 6% of Americans had chronic disease. Today it's 60%. Those are neurological disorders, autoimmune diseases, allergic diseases, and obesity. The causes of it are toxic exposures. So toxic exposures are food, medicines, and our water. And the problem is we have government agencies that are supposed to be protecting our health, but instead they have become captured by the industries they're supposed to regulate. The big food industries, by processed food, by the pharmaceutical companies. They'll spend a lot of money studying how to treat diabetes, but they're not going to study what the causes are. When I was a kid, a typical pediatrician would see one case of diabetes in his lifetime. Today, 1 out of every 3 kids who walks through his office door has diabetes. And nobody's asking why this is happening, because the reason it's happening are because we're getting mass poison, and people are making money both on poisoning us and on treating chronic diseases that result from that poison.
Removing a lot of the poison in our food, you think that weight's just going to be shed and that Americans will be a lot more healthy than they are?
I mean, you need lifestyle changes, but the big issue is getting the poison out of our food and getting good nutrition to people. People get sick. We're getting exposed to 1 billion microbes every day. Our body has the capacity from 4 billion years of evolution to fight things off. So it's only sick people who get sick from infectious disease.
Would this be fair to summarize your campaign as this, that it's almost, you're going to be the guy that tries to take the poison out of the government and the poison out of our food and make our government healthy again, make our people healthy again?
And the corruption and this corrupt merger of state and corporate power, and get good food to the American people that, our children are growing up healthy rather than sick.
So what you see on his back is Waterkeeper Alliance. What he's spent a lot of his career as an environmental lawyer doing is prosecuting the companies that would dump into our water supply, our food supply, and he's a big reason why the water quality in New York is better. We go to a lot of the dangerous places in America, a lot of the places that are really struggling, like Pine Ridge Reservation, Kensington, Philadelphia. We've been to Skid Row. We've been to a lot of the places that are really struggling right now. How do we bring prosperity back to a lot of the hoods, the reservations, and then some of the rural areas that are just the places that are struggling? How do we impact those spots?
Well, there's different issues. I mean, the biggest issue for homelessness is the housing crisis. There's a direct correlation. California has 50% of the unsheltered homeless in America. Why is that? It's because California has the highest housing prices in America. People say homeless people are drug addicts and mentally ill. A lot of people who are homeless become that way.
So with the hoods, a lot of the problem, the reservations, the rural area, there's no jobs. All the industry is left overseas to Mexico, China, overseas. They used to have booming middle class. How do we get jobs back to those areas?
We have to definancialize our economy and reindustrialize it. We've been exporting our industries for the last 30 years. And, part of that is these big trade agreements that we had that exported American jobs to China and to other parts of the world. And we need to reindustrialize the American economy, and that's what my whole program is about.
We did bring a present for you. I'll show you. I don't know if you can openly wear this in public or if it's even your style, but RIP mainstream media, maybe in the privacy of your home.
Yeah.
We'll give it to your team.
Thank you.
Do you feel like mainstream media has lied to us and has been so manipulated that it is dying? It's in a little bit of a death spiral?
I think the reasons for the death of mainstream media, they're not doing journalism anymore. Journalism means maintaining a posture of fear, skepticism towards authority, towards government, and particularly during COVID. But even before that, they exposed themselves as being as propaganda vessels. There was no questioning allowed. There was a lot of censorship of dissenting views. Journalists are supposed to speak truth to power.
This man is a pull-up machine, folks.
You do 50 pull-up,
100 push-ups.
100 push-ups in 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes on the dot, didn't you?
No, I didn't. The closest I got was 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I haven't qualified, but I think you could.
It's refreshing to have a candidate that's in shape and active and has a grasp on the outdoors and is physically competent. We don't get a lot of that. Folks back home, if you want to do the Kennedy challenge, 100 push-ups, 50 pull-ups, see if you can do it in 5 minutes or less. We're gonna make America fit again. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, exactly.
And I approve this message. This man is burning my forearms out. I'm a young buck. I'm up and at it every day of the week. He's doing burnout sets, which my forearms are already feeling it, but I'm not about to be no communist. I'm gonna keep pushing. I got another whopper. One of the major conflicts in the world right now, Israel-Palestine. How do you end that conflict and bring peace back to the world and the region?
I'm against war, and I think over the past 100 years, there's been only one moral war that we fought, which is World War II. All the other ones were wars of choice. In World War II, we were attacked by an implacable enemy that was sworn to the destruction of all of our values, of our sovereignty, of our country. Israel today is in the same position. It was attacked not just on October 7th, for 16 years preceding that, since Hamas took over Gaza. I'm very pro-Palestinian. I've spent a lot of time in Israel with Palestinian friends. I've been to the West Bank. I met with the Palestinian Authority. I have friends in Gaza. And the Palestinians are the chief victims of Hamas. Palestinians have gotten more money from the international community, 10 times the amount of money per capita that we use to rebuild Europe during the Marshall Plan. Money has disappeared because the leadership of Hamas steals it. Ismail Haniyeh, who is the supreme leader of Hamas, has a net worth of $5 billion. They use the other part of the money that they don't steal to buy weapons and to build 300 miles of tunnels. They have hijacked Gaza for the single purpose of destroying Israel. And they say in their charter that it's a crime against Islam to even negotiate with Israel. So I don't see what Israel people are saying. We should be demanding a ceasefire, but then what? Israel was in the middle of the ceasefire when they were attacked. It was their 5th ceasefire with Hamas, and every one of those Hamas has used to attack Israel, to do another strike, to regroup, to rearm, to hoist the banners, and have another attack. I think Israel really only has one choice, which is to destroy Hamas.
I think almost any reasonable person can say Hamas is a bad actor, needs to go. There's also people that are saying, look, we understand why Israel began the attacks, but when we see children being bombed at the rates they are, when we see hospitals being bombed, and almost, I think it's a half the population is homeless now, that Israel has gone too far in their approach.
Well, but why would you blame Israel for that? They're fighting an enemy that deliberately used civilian shields. Nobody wants to attack a hospital. It's a war crime to attack a hospital unless the enemy is using that hospital as a base, which they were. Why are people blaming Israel for attacking a hospital when Hamas put its command centers and its weapons armories in that hospital? Now we need to start pointing the fingers at the people who are responsible for this filthy casualties. If there's a bank robber who grabs his hostage and is firing over the hostage's head at the police and other civilians, the police shoot him and by mistake kill the hostage, who do you blame for that? You blame the police? Oh, you blame the bank robber. So why are we blaming Hamas for what's coming? We shouldn't reward terrorism.
So the onus is on Hamas. They made the attack. They're using their people as shields. If they truly cared about their own Palestinian people, they would end it now.
They would end it or fight a military battle. They have 40,000 troops. Don't hide behind women and children.
It's very cowardly to do.
Yeah, and that's what we should be talking about.
So we just got a channel first, a workout with a presidential candidate. Again, Team Trump, Team Biden, hit us up. We want to do something with you guys too. And let the American people get to know you on more of a human level as well.